Welcome back, everybody. Today I've got a pretty straightforward project for you. I'm going to show you how I built my new dining room table. The design was inspired by, I guess, Farmhouse, but making it a little more modern. And one style that I really enjoy is taking oak or ash or any wood with a lot of grain in it and just staining it black. So to start off, I'm actually going to make the top. And the top is made out of 100% red oak. And this is 6/4, I believe. I'm just trimming it down so that I can get ready for the glue up. To help with some alignment, I'm using a biscuit joiner. This just helps the boards keep from squirming around when you do clamp it up, and really just save you a ton of time with sanding after everything's glued together. Sometimes I forget how heavy red oak is. I bet you this top weighs, I don't know, 100 pounds, maybe a little bit more. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're trying to handle it all by yourself, it gets to be a little bit much. Got these nice clamps from Rockler that kind of keeps everything flat. And then I just finish it off with some pipe clamps. Now that my top is mostly done, I just use a straight edge to cut it flush on the end. And I'll flip it around here in a second with my wife's help and cut it to the final dimensions of what the tabletop's going to be. Right now I'm drilling some holes that I'm going to grind out so that I can put some bolts through this. And what you'll see here in a minute is I'm going to cut it in half, and it's actually going to be the supports on the bottom of the table. The goal here is to keep the table from cupping or twisting or anything else, and I just thought this was a cool extra step to try and help with that process. The wood's pretty dry as it is, so I don't really expect it to cup or twist, but this is some extra insurance. So I just drilled those holes out, and I take an angle grinder to kind of open up the slot so the wood has space for movement. Now you can see this is just a piece of 1 by 2 inch steel, I believe it is, 1/8 inch wall, and after I drilled through, I'm going to just cut it in half so that I have 2 pieces that I'll be able to put on the bottom of the tabletop. I'm going to cut through half of it, flipped it around, and then I'm going to meet in the center to cut it in half and essentially make a C-channel. Drilling some pilot holes so that the router has somewhere to drop into. And this first cut that you'll see me do here is with a 1/4 inch router bit, and that's for a portion of the C channel that actually goes down deeper into the wood. Then you can see I'm just about to test fit it to make sure that I have the right width and fits good. This is for the second channel that's going on the bottom of the table. And then now I'm just going to drill a little bit further down in the center so that I can fully recess that C channel. I'm going to use a router to kind of eat out a majority of the material, and I do clean it up a little bit with chisel just on the ends there. So now that C channel just sits totally flat on the bottom. You won't even be able to see it when you're looking at the table. After cutting out a channel for the C channel, what I'm doing here, this is where the legs are going to go. So cut it all to a 1/4 inch thick to accommodate the 1/4 inch thick steel that'll be recessed. To hold the C-channel in place, I just use some wood inserts. And then in those wood inserts, I use 1/4 bolts. Man, this shot just really makes me cringe. I bought the wrong inserts for red oak apparently. Eventually I did go back and get some coarser threaded inserts that just went in like butter. Red oak's just too tough for these brass inserts. To stain it, I'm using an India ink, and this is has become really popular recently, and this is just the first coat that I'm putting on here. Eventually I ended up putting about 4 coats on the top, I think, to get it as black as I did in the end. And then I'm just going to seal it with Armor Seal semi-gloss. Stuff is really fantastic. Great top for dining room that's going to get wet. So that's the tabletop. Now we're going to start on the legs, and you're going to see me make a bunch of cuts here, and all of these cuts are actually at 5 degrees, and if everything's at 5 degrees for your table, then it should compound to be flat. I always like the sound of metal hitting the concrete ground. So these are just the end caps for the bottom of the legs. I want it to be nice and flush on the bottom so that it doesn't snag the carpet or anything. Just weld and grind them flat. You won't see them anyways, but still gotta do a good job. It always amazes me. I feel like I never get better at welding. I just don't do it enough to really get the technique down. But I guess that's what a grinder's for. So just like the C channel, I'll also be using wood inserts on the bottom of the table for attaching the legs, and this is the 1/4 inch piece by 2 inch piece of steel that'll actually sit flush with the bottom of the table. So I'm widening the channel a little bit so that the wood can move with the legs. This is just going to be my jig right here to get the legs welded together. It always seems like I'm able to get really good welds when I'm in a comfortable position, so all of these are pretty good overall. I do end up grinding them flat just to make sure it's really smooth in the end, but depending on the look you're going for, I think these welds actually would have been passable. If you've never welded before, I suggest that you get into it. It's really easy to learn, and I know a lot of people make it seem like it's so hard to do. It is hard to do really well, but I think that everyone can learn to weld. And now I'm actually just sanding off all the scale and everything on the legs. I'm going for the silver look, just is basically a dull silver from the sanded metal. And then to finish it, I use penetrol, which is just basically, it's actually used for making oil-based paints thinner. So it rolls on smoothly, but it works as a great clear coat as well, as long as it's indoors. Spray paint the C channel. You won't see them anyways, but might as well make them look nice. Last step is just to put the table together. Using the threaded inserts that we inserted earlier, I add the C channel, and in a moment I'll bolt down the legs. Ultimately, this ended up being a pretty simple build, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you did like this video, feel free to hit the like button and hit subscribe for future videos.